Let's hit up those picks and bans for game number 2, and I'm right there with you, Toli. I've been really adamant about talking about playing the off-meta selections, or I mean, maybe they are on meta. Off-meta is in meta right now, as odd as that sounds. But the one of the biggest points when you're playing off-meta is to make sure that you're still staying true to yourself, right? When BigManTingz played the Odin in the middle lane, now it didn't work out. But the reason he did that, BigManTingz is transitioning from the support role. He plays that jank because that's what is in his wheelhouse, not just because, well, the matchup makes sense and I've seen it once. You got to be able to pilot this, and you got to know what you're good at. Jermain stays aggressive.
And I think it's also the aggression composition coming from all of Mousesports. They know what their identity is, and they're very flexible with it as well. They can run almost anything under the sun. So when we see the Odin middle, it doesn't really surprise me, considering that the rest of Mousesports supporting cast plays around this Odin middle. It's not like they still go an aggressive solo laner. They kind of have to have something with a little bit more control.
And that's why I've liked Mouse up until this point. Nuwa going to be selected here, despite the fact that they have wound up with so many losses, is the fact that they're playing the off-meta stuff correctly. I think this was the first time that they kind of ventured out of their safety zone, where I don't think Jermain is the type of player that's going to excel at the Nuwa, so we'll see if this one winds up in his hands or elsewhere. And you said it before, Toli, if the streak gets open, Dapting's going to take it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Same exact picks and bans thus far from game 1 and 2. Nuwa could be this time switched around, and I like the Cerberus pickup here. maniaKK was very annoying, penetrating the backline. That 20-minute Pyromancer fight was the success off of his aggression.
Love the Naja selection here. If this does wind up in the hands of Cherryo, this has been a character that Cherryo has really done well with when it comes to the traditional assassins. Not usually Cherryo's not usually where he goes, but him and the Naja and the Hun Bats can absolutely float in the hands of Cherryo.
It could also be flexing the soul lane. Some players have been experimenting a little bit here and there with that. Deathwalker specifically have been running it. Nika could potentially run it, depending on what maniaKK elects to go.
Or Dardez can run it. The support Naja. A lot of value there. A ton of setup, ton of control, fantastic abilities. We've seen that actually played at the highest level, and I believe it was North America that we saw the Naja this season in the support role. But NRG going to ban out that Agni that did so well last time around, also the Geb, and then Mouse. Pay attention to Camazotz and Uller, giving NRG their own Chronos. Let's go.
And it's surprising to me that Mouse don't ban that away, because they ban away Soul, but the other magical hunter, Chronos, also very strong. Both Yammyn and emilitoo can play it, but with Discordia locked in, I doubt that's going to go in the dual lane. We're going to see a lot of fireworks in that dual lane with Rom for Jermain this time.
Yeah, Bologna will be the solo lane of choice, so it does look like, actually, Nuwa likely in the middle lane. Rom the hunter, right?
Cerberus support, Naja jungle.
Cerberus support is also a little strange these days.
For Dardez, yeah.
I mean, Cerberus has been, I think, more traditional in the solo lane, no?
I mean, yes, but Bologna is more of a solo laner than a support. So
absolutely.
If anything, I mean, we could still see it potentially in the dual lane. If there's anyone that's going to run Bologna support, it's going to be Dardez.
Actually, might not be such a terrible idea with the Chronos in lane. Shutting down those in-hands, not a bad plan. On the call, it's John Finish's Hindu Man. Bring it to us.
Tom and Toli, thank you for breaking it down yet again as we get ready to head into Game 2 here between NRG and Mousesports.
Where's your mic flying? Where's
What
the office
is
of
it
the
all over the
adventure?
place? That sounds
Yeah.
great, I bet. Thank Hindu Man.
No problem.
Thanks for chat.
It's
I bet
okay.
that sounded awesome.
That's fine. Who do you think's MVP for this game?
MVP? I think you meant who will win. Who's going to win?
Production told me MVP, so I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, MVP.
why was that?
Just vote MVP now.
Yeah, I just predict it's going to be
Do
Yammyn.
it.
That's really safe. That's actually
Yammyn's
safe.
a safe one.
Yeah.
Yammyn adapting.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yammyn adapting.
Easy.
But we are ready to go into the game. Who do you think will win? Please vote for that in the chat.
Big one for me this game, though, is where does that Bologna go? Please, for the love of God, tell me it's in the solo. No, it's not. Of course it's not. Okay. I actually was like, oh my God, Mouse Esports will listen to me. So
Well, we were looking at their comp. We were excited. Like, oh, that looks like a regular
it did.
comp.
And I was like, maybe they will listen. I'm not too upset with Bologna's support. The reason being is Bellona does bring a lot to this duo lane that a support will bring anyway.
Yeah.
Do very, very similar things. Can you defensively peel? Sure, with your Scourge and the Eagles rally defensively and aggressively. Like, you can do both things a support wants to do with this kit. It's not doom and gloom. The block stacks also help because slow people down, first of all, with a shield bash.
Yeah.
Not only that, you can make a bit of a difference with those bludgeons without building damage.
And and Tom like touched on it towards the end though, but being able to hit that disarm on Kronos while he's in the accelerate, if he's using it for in-hand damage and not like ability, then that can be good to kind of shut down that steroid. It just depends on what emilitoo tries to do and how well Dardez can time it.
More importantly though, Mousesports have a fighting duo lane. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see Dardez and Jermain take on emilZy and emilitoo, because I don't think a lot of the duo lanes in EU have really tested each other this year. There's been a lot of starts of 1-2s, like 1 in the duo lane, 2 in the mid lane. I want to see more straight up 2v2 fights. You've not seen it enough. There's no real test going on.
So people getting off the NRG bandwagon after that last performance.
3%, right?
Yeah.
Was it more than that?
It was like 92-8, I think, last time. So I think it's been a 5% shift. But, I mean, you talked about it towards the end of that last game. Mouse looked strong. They took NRG to 50 minutes in that last game and kind of showing up a bit in the polls.
What are they doing?
Proxying again, I guess, or?
The wave's gone. Oh, no, it's not. A few of the minions are still there. I was like, wait, the whole wave's gone. No, it's not. They were waiting for the rest of the minions to go through. I was just looking where the minion wave was. So, once again, Cherryo got to try and slow him down. This is the rinse repeat of last game. Difference is that Jermain's actually got a bit more range this time and can penetrate those minions.
He is going to be able to nearly full... They do full clear that first wave, so they can just come right to this purple buff and strip it away.
But mid is missing yet again. Round 2.
They moved faster this time.
They're on the run.
Yeah, they got out of here. Adapting, not going to be able to just walk in and deathbane them all for a double kill this time. So Mouse learned and made that proxy work a little better.
Jala could have still been troublesome for them, though, especially if Adapting did have his blink, because he could have got in there and put some more pressure onto them, although Sprint was available for Dardez there. It's not a big win on that duo lane. They get, what, a creep extra. That's about all they're at right now, and they might even lose 1 or 2 because the minion wave is pushed into the tower anyway.
Yeah, the minion wave is going to be pushed in. emilitoo has rejoined with emilZy, so now they can go ahead and start working on their clear on the wave and get things a little bit more even, but these are some of the different starts we're seeing. A lot of teams have been doing more of this 2-2-1, more of there's been more variation in the starts at least.
And the variations is because it's the start of a new year, and nobody really knows what the best is. And the funny thing is that the best...
I know who the best is.
All right, here we go. Who the best?
What a great joke I did. Who the best is the support right now.
Ah, I was trying to catch you there. I was trying to catch you before we started off on the splice train.
The slow not going to work with the sprint out, so he is going to be able to regroup is Dardez, but
sprint for
good
sprint.
damage from emilZy.
Sprint for sprint and potions mean that Dardez should be fine. He's got a Guardian's Blessing too. The one thing you always want to take into account is the Guardian's Blessing, because you can just hang there at half health, and the minions dying nearby will give you the sustain that you need anyway without having to build potions all the time. Add a potion with your Guardian's Blessing, you're in a fine spot.
Cherryo was looking at rotating over, but already backing up was NRG, and Adapting was able to get those oracles by himself. So nothing really came from.
Definitely more of a skirmish composition out from Mousesports this time as well. Specifically with how their gods kind of interact. They're not the greatest of interactors. If you think about like last game with the Agni and also, what was it they had in the jungle last game? The Finna Weevils, wasn't it? The
yeah,
Humbats.
they had Humbats.
A little bit more interaction with big AoE ultimates. This time around, if you look at it, like Naja's going to take someone out of combat, but who's going to follow that up? Nuwa's follow-up isn't as good as the likes of, you know, a Toth or a Kraken or an Agni bomb.
Yeah, they're very much going to be missing that range damage that they had last time with the Agni. The BigManTingz on that Agni, I mean, that was so much of why, not just in their defense, but even before that, when they were trying to slow energy down, BigManTingz able to help turn that around for him. Not to say that Nuwa can't be impactful, but it's exactly the scenario you're talking about where they're going to be feeling the difference between the Nuwa and the Agni.
One thing that's not been spoken about too much is the timing of backings at the start of the game has changed substantially to where it used to be in previous seasons. A lot of people would farm to your level 5, then base and try and get your boots online. Most of the time now, though, people are actually basing it around level 4 because the window of opportunities there with the jungle being down, the wave being farmed, go back, get your tier 2 boots online, maybe get a cheeky ward if you've got the extra gold to be able to continue fighting and farming up.
Adapting was lurking here in the jungle. Not going to find a gank. He did take a little bit of that experience, though. You saw him make it to level 5 off that wave, so maybe a little bit of a win for Nika, really, that some of the farm was split between maniaKK and Adapting, and he didn't have to split it, did Nika?
Just trying to work out on the mini-map then for a second where Naja was, where Cherryo was. But he was actually in mid lane with Tingz, just going to soak up some experience there. Definitely a farm situation in the early stages of this game, Finch. Nothing too drastic is going to happen. NRG quite happy to sit back and farm this one up, as will Mousesports be with the comp they have.
Actually got pushed up a little bit between Jermain and Dardez. They know just after what we saw in the solo lane where Adapting is on the map. He showed his presence in solo, which means that Mouse can afford to step up a little bit further forward. Plus, they can kind of bluff that they've got Cherryo in the wings. They didn't exactly know where he was till he came back into mid, so Mouse was free to step up.
And the big key is Cherryo matching pace with Adapting, or generally what you want to do in a game of Smite is know where your lane opposition is. And a jungler's job is to kind of understand where the enemy jungler could be at the moment and give that information to the rest of his team. Hey, I think Adapting could be around his speed buff because it's about to come up. You know, that's what Cherryo needs to be saying. So you can stay aggressive in the left-hand lane here, Mouse, even without wards, because Adapting should be on his speed.
That's exactly where he is. Already level 5, though, is emilitoo, as he started in the mid lane earlier, was able to rotate over and has a little bit of a lead over Jermain. Nothing really very substantial, just a little bit out in front, but we are starting to see where some of these different starts can kind of lead to a little bit of XP difference.
And look at the pressure that Dardez and Jermain have had in that lane so far. It's realistically just because it is a Bellona and a Rama in lane against a Kronos and a Terra. Early on in the game, like, it's going to take a little while for Kronos to really start to ramp up in terms of damage output. And you've got to be respectful of Bellona at all stages of the game anyway.
Still, safe are the relic selections from both squads, as opposed to earlier when we saw the triple blink composition coming out. This time we're seeing beads, teleport, and sprints. These feel like making sure that my team's going to be okay relics, and that's what they're going to be doing for me.
Yeah, very respectful from NRG in terms of their relic choices as well. Bit surprised we didn't see Adapting go for the blink, but he's very worried about the odd ring toss. Not just the sashes, not just the ultimate of Naja, the ring toss is a real problem. The slow on that can really make an impact to Adapting, where he can get himself in a trickier predicament where he wouldn't be normally. So having beads, just in case of those things, as well as that, will help. Look at Jermain, though. He could be in trouble now.
I think he might have been using that rewind aggressively, and he sure did. emilitoo is able to blow Jermain up, and now Dardez could be in trouble. There's a 3-man collapse happening. Adapting hits the Cobra's kiss, forces out the Eagle's rally, but jumps right back in afterwards, goes to the last breath, throws him in, and another easy kill for NRG, even letting a double kill go the way of emilitoo in the duo lane.
And that was all Jermain boxing against emilitoo and getting out of position. Always remember those seconds before Kronos got low, where he's going to end up rolling back to. Jermain went too deep. By the time he tried to get back, the rewind put emilitoo in an easy position to pick up the kill, and then NRG were already collapsing to try and punish him anyway.
I love it, though. That was emilitoo using the rewind offensively. A lot of the times I see the rewind being used to defensively, to get you out of trouble, to get health back, but emilitoo was like, where was I 8 seconds ago? I was right where Jermain is now. Let me go back, find the kill. He finds it, and then they collapse on Dardez too.
Actual hardest thing about Kronos is working out where your rewind puts you. That's the hardest thing. Like, can I rewind now? Where was I 8 seconds ago? And it's not kind of hard to work out exactly where 8 seconds was. Was I behind the wall or in front of the wall? Let's find out. Rewind. Oh, I was in the safe spot. Good.
Ends up working out for him. emilitoo now on the Kronos, that can feel very late game with the way his passive works, that he can be very reliant on items. Getting that start off to a good start is going to help out for emilitoo a lot.
He did get some buffs recently, though, which means his basic attack damage has increased, putting him ahead of other mages, and even so on par, if not ahead of some of the hunters too. So that's why you're starting to see a little bit more out of the Kronos. And then again, it's also NRG that are playing this, which isn't a big surprise to see.
Maniac gets pulled underneath the tower.
That could be a kill.
Tier 1 does end up hurting, but Nika's going to jump in and look for a little bit more.
Should be a kill.
Fire Shard's going to help out too, but Nika doesn't feel like they can get it with the Terra's Blessing coming out on top of him.
Great rotation from Adapting, though, just to make sure that if anyone was looking to clean up that kill, wasn't going to be the case, at least without not being answered back in some form by the Sir Cat that was hanging around at the right area. Just those 2 kills so far for NRG, which has all come down to that dual lane play.
Adapting, continuing to lurk here in the jungle, finds the Cobra's Kiss and forces out the beads and the ultimate from Cherryo. I think he gave the correct amount of respect, but that just goes to show what Adapting can do, and he's not done. Jumps in. Really only needed probably one more in-hand or so to get that done.
I agree with the ult Cherryo there. The reason he ults, even though the combo has gone through, is because the auto attack from Adapting afterwards, with the poison established, would burst and do a lot more damage. So walk away. Use your ult if you have to. Fine. Going back in? All right, calm down.
It does mean for a while they are not going to have to worry about Cherryo, though. No beads, no ults, and maybe even no life as Dardez is forced to jump away. The Eagles rally on cooldown, but it means he is going to survive the pressure again in mid lane
Jermain's
just from the abilities.
Jermain's in trouble in left-hand lane right now as well. Look at him. He's way below half health, has to base. Took a duel with emilitoo, and he did not come out on top of that one either.
This time it didn't even require the rewind. emilitoo still has that one available.
He stayed in lane.
Forced the ult out.
He waited the farm.
There's the rewind.
Only gets 2 and full health once again from emilitoo. Jermain, he's
took a moment to go. Oh, he's full health again. Cool.
Well, that shows how much burst that Jermain managed to put out on his own there, just with the in-hands and the snipes in a few seconds.
Yeah.
But same again, I love what Jermain's doing his best to try and survive this lane, not lose his tower, and make sure he doesn't back and lose farm. But it's a risky business that he nearly paid with his life, but he got away with it.
emilitoo was able to maybe get the slight better of him, but they both end up backing. The difference is, though, emilitoo's going to go right for his red buff and get that farm solo, whereas Jermain is going to be splitting this farm a couple of ways, splitting the back harpies, and I don't even think he was there to get into farm from the red buff, so even if he grabs it, that's a little bit more than emilitoo was able to get that Jermain wasn't.
Yeah, both at the same time as well. Both going stacking items, Warlock Sash and the Devourer's Gauntlets online so far for the 2 hunters in the hunter lane. Just see how that works out. I like the fact that Jermain's going for the sustain, though. He's going to need it to stay up and topped up, especially if he's taking these trades against emilitoo. Significantly so, because the rewind will always be the reset for him.
Jumping in right now is Nika. That's going to have to force them back. But I really loved seeing...
Telegraphed.
Yeah, it was a little bit obvious what they were going to be going for, but I've been loving seeing the way Adapting is moving around the map so far here, Graham, and where he's choosing to spend his time. That's why I'm glad that we've got those POV cams. You can see the coach. I'm going to have all of them up at once. See this feed that we've got with the Spectator, see Adapting, and see Cherryo from Mouse. See where these junglers are going, their decision-making, and what they're prioritizing, because some of that decision-making from Adapting has been so strong. It was for them in Game 1. It continues to be here in Game 2.
Just looking to pressure as often as possible, and watching the junglers is one of the best ways to work out the map and where you should really be most of the time.
Yeah. And it's so important here in Season 5, more than ever, where the jungler chooses to go. Is it successful when they get there? Do they find the buff invade? Do they find the kill? Or is it just wasted time? More than ever, small leads are built and then grown off of those choices.
Once again, though, we're seeing maniaKK going for some more magical defense. We're obviously worried about the Cerberus in lane and the new Fire Shards. They're the 2 most dangerous things, because realistically, you're not going to want to ult maniaKK if you Cherryo anyway, if you can help it.
Yeah.
We'll take him out of combat, sure, but it's going to be a lot harder to bring him down in terms of his tankiness overall. But if he's not going to go for some physical protections, then maybe that becomes a new option.
Adapting's jumping away, but I'm looking more at the support build so far, as Mouse actually able to take away the Gold Fury. NRG don't want to let that happen for free. Isn't able to find the stun as emilZy, so instead he retreats. Finds the Strife and very low Cherryo. The apple goes through and lands on him. Are you kidding? Blows Cherryo up. Yammyn finds the shot.
Hey, off the board. That's all you need to do. Adapting, they're going to keep running them all the way back. This is actually opening up a window on the left-hand side for this tier 1 to potentially go down as emilitoo takes that. But yeah, the cameraman and NRG caught with their pants down there. Just nobody noticed it was going on. Just nice little play. And that's the benefit of having a hunter in the hunter lane. Especially a Rama, you can clear that down very, very quick, especially with Devourer's Gauntlets.
Turns out physical hunters are pretty good. They're going to respond, though, with some pressure on this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. They had a big archer wave there is why I think we saw them pushing up, but once BigManTingz was able to come in, they were able to clear it out and they had to back off. But I was trying to highlight a little bit earlier on here, as we are going to be taking a look back at that great shot Yammyn hit there, Graham. I mean, finding that apple was crazy.
I just want to see it from his point of view, because like, was it fully aimed off the wall, or was it just like, well, it's out there? No, he aimed for a target and it bounced off the wall. He'll say he played that all the way through.
He did!
But no, he didn't. He was just looking for a cheek. He was just trying to hit it to spread it to someone, and it hit the wall and bounced up. Great play, though. He's just not getting all the credit in the world, that's all. If it was intentional, he would have aimed at the wall straight away. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. All right. Yammyn is able to find that kill either way, but I was going to highlight for you the Gauntlet of Thieves already finished for emilZy, a good bit ahead of where Dardez is able to get it. So that's 22 stacks that emilZy is out in front. Those stacks themselves are significant in terms of protections, but also in how much closer he's going to be to getting that finished off.
Yeah, having those extra aura online really useful, not just in terms of physical, but magical protections too.
Yeah.
Helps the whole team out, and Terra's always going to be with his team for the most part. Oh, well, with her team, I should say, not his. As the back harpies stripped by NRG again. Just trying to find small wins time and time again.
We're seeing some of the poke that NRG can put out, though, as Dardez took almost half health. Just trying to hang out there in that mid lane. Not going to be quite as tanky as a Guardian would be at that exact same point, but that's not why he picked this Bologna. He wants to brawl. See if we can get a little bit more of that now, as emilZy is going to go in aggressively on the backside, and they're trying to find way back here Cherryo. They don't hit the stun, and neither is the Apple. That's going to be on cooldown.
They're a little bit too far forward here, NRG now. I think Mousesports could go for a collapse on somebody. emilZy could be the one, but they've got to watch out for NRG reinitiating now.
emilZy uses the sprint, adapting, is able to find Dardez, getting slowed, and waiting to find the shots up in the air as Jermain doesn't even need it. Nika is the one that gets the last hit and brings down emilZy. Stigi and Torment gonna control, but emilitoo uses the rewind and hightails it right out of there, and now maniaKK is here. Yammyn finds that hit with a little bit of help. Ultimate comes out to knock up BigManTingz, but adapting puts the damage on Jermain and forces out the Aegis as Nika falls to emilitoo. Even a couple of lasts for good measure.
So NRG get aggressive in the jungle, don't find anything. NRG look to reset, and emilZy gets caught out of position. Mouse takes such a long time to go, hey, emilZy's out of position. Maybe we should go to emilZy. By the time they finally decide to go to emilZy, NRG's like, oh, emilZy's out of position. Let's save him. And the fight ensues afterwards. NRG get their cooldowns back and find the fight win afterwards. Mouse just weren't responsive enough there, and they get punished for it because they try to do it a little bit too late. They lose a tier 1 on top of the engagement.
That fight goes pretty handily in NRG's favor, and now they have themselves about a 3,000 gold lead here to go along with their 6-1 lead in the kills as well. Look at the graph. Experience too. Wow.
Look at the graph. You see the gold one where it jumps up to even? That's the gold fury that Mouse got. Then after that, that last little minute and a half of that little engagement in the enemy jungle of Mouse, that is where they just lost all that gold. It's crazy. That one play has cost them so much.
Yeah, more than the gold fury gained for them, really. I mean, that's how far down they are. But, I mean, I don't want to overstate how tough it is to be down 7K experience, 16 minutes here into the game. If we go back in and see the levels as well, we can really start to see where that's happening. Mid is where there's some problems for them. Solo as well.
Carry rolls.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not ideal where you want to have those, as NRG kind of had a lead in just about every lane.
And the big thing next is like how tanky Nika can get to with being behind. Like, you've got to keep an eye on the levels of the carries of NRG versus the tank levels of Mousesports. That does become a big factor as the game goes on. So Nika being level 15 now, and Discordia being 15 or 16 for emilitoo, for example, as there's more kills in mid.
Adapting goes in on Jermain, whereas emilZy is going to go in on Tingz in the mid lane. Apple comes out, and they're going to look to follow that one up. Eagles rally comes down, but could potentially be in trouble as Dardez. They don't find the stun, but they want Tingz, who's low. No more damage can reach him where he is. Almost had it at emilitoo, but Nika's here, and he's going to pull emilitoo back underneath the tier 2 tower, who makes it back out okay. But now it's Dardez who's too low.
It's only because the tanks are the only ones left there, Finch. The damage dealers were all taken out, meaning that, yeah, it was a great ult from Nika, but all he had to support was a support Bologna, and instead the Pooch is going to get sent back to base too.
What a good wall from emilZy there at the end, but that fight going heavily in NRG's favor yet again. Blinking in his Cherryo, but at this point he finds the sash. He does get him emilitoo, but can he find emilZy as well? Gets rooted over the wall, and the unruly magic finds it. Not going to find the balls, but Adapting's there. Best player, going to land on top for the last hit.
BigManTingz will just have to limp away, maybe get run down actually by maniaKK, but playing safe because Jermain's back. Jermain looking for snipes.
He is going to look for him. Yammyn's very low. emilZy that must have used Aegis to keep him alive, and he does. Jermain almost had it.
I tell you what, when you're looking from Jermain's point of view too, you can see all the trees, the foliage.
That was a hard shot, yeah.
It's not as easy to guess where everybody is. Yeah, there was a ward in that general area, so we got an idea of it. But it just shows that ROM is not as easy as it used to be with how the foliage in the jungle looks in the game.
Not easy at all. Jermain forces out the Aegis, though, and good on Yammyn to be ready for it. I think the first shot hit, so he had a little bit of warning there was more damage coming, but is able to avoid getting completely taken down. And NRG have pushed their lead up even further, now closer to about 4,000 gold in their lead just after that last skirmish.
Yeah, and this one won't go the same way as game 1. I'm guarantee you that. Like, the composition Mouse have here, completely different in terms of how trying to defend against Phoenixes and in how their team fights will work. They're a lot more skirmishy. What is that?
Just wanted to know where everybody was.
Worried about Fire
vision.
Giant maybe because you don't see everybody? Gold Fury
could be
maybe?
it.
Okay, I can see it now. I'm trying to understand what it was. I'm like, all right, maybe they're on gold, so check it. There is wards down for energy at both the gold and the Fire Giant though, so they've got full vision there. Mouse needs to do a better job of getting those wards out now.
Now, I'm not saying that Kronos can't be good early, Graham, but you probably don't pick it thinking it's going to be 1 and 3 at 19 minutes and 2 levels up over your opponent. That's not what you're thinking when you pick it. So this is a great spot to be in, really, if you're emilitoo. And in a worse spot for Cherryo, blown up way too far forward. Now and look at the pings. They're like, hey, the whole team was here, by the way. Like, everybody.
That was a Soul Reaver, by the way, that did all that damage before anyone starts panicking at home about mage damage. That was a Soul Reaver included, which definitely helps out from Yammyn. This gold is going to go down now uncontested because of that pick. Nicely played by NRG. This is just them stepping on the throat of Mouse, and there's no real release.
No,
is what I'm looking for. There's no way back into it right now. Mouse is not having a window to find. Maybe a snipe.
And last game, you touched on it, they were able to defend their Phoenixes with all the damage from Tings on the Agni and Jermain on the Nuwa. They don't have that safe ranged clear this time.
No.
They do still have the Nuwa, but it's not going to be the same.
I mean, Ring Toss will help out a little bit on that as well now with the NRG, but it won't be the same sort of level. And using your Ring Toss for clearing the wave is not something you'd rather do. You'd rather have it for being able to slow down the team on the engages.
maniaKK could be in a little bit of trouble. Gets pulled back in. Does get stunned as well. The shield comes out from the Rage Transform and doesn't find the root, but does turn around and put out some damage. And even though they had him for a moment, they couldn't commit, and maniaKK lives.
Hard to kill Kakula, man. Hard to kill the solo lanes. Solo lanes that are getting selected this year are always the ones that can take a bit of a beating, a bit too much. They're diving still, though, for him. They still want him on the right-hand side.
They want to see if they can get it. Nika's
Got
over
him.
there, and BigManTingz did it with the fire shards, eventually able to punish maniaKK on the solo side of the map. And finally, the rest of NRG is coming over to say, hey, did you need help? It's too late.
Yeah. One thing I've not noticed yet, Cherryo with the Shield of Regrowth here in the mid lane at the moment on the jungle position. Sustain. I mean, it gives you that extra movement speed. It's got a cooldown reduction in it. It allows you to go aggressive, but I like the play.
Well, there you go. They both missed their ult, so it's okay.
I had a feeling that Apple was going to bounce back. I was about to say he's going to bounce back off the wall and kill him, but luckily it didn't. Cherryo will survive, but his blink's now down, as is his ult.
We can kind of say nothing happened over there, right? No, now the beads are getting forced out. This is starting to be substantial as emilZy continues to chase him down. I don't want them to overcommit on this, but they forced his relics out, and now they have a real shot as Adapting is here as well.
Oh,
Has the blink.
He's
yeah,
in a lot of
emilito's
trouble.
wrapping too. I don't know where he's going to go. Cobra's kiss
To base.
into the stun, and
he's
he's
going to go
done.
to base, not by choice. That's what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
One thing to know, I love what emilZy's been doing in this game on the Terror. It gets overlooked quite a lot of the time, but Terror's passive in terms of the ult. Hang on, I'll hold that, because this is a great play.
There's no one over here. Fire Giant's at half health,
maniaKK's
and they've got
running,
plenty
man.
of damage to do it here with
maniaKK's
Jermain.
running.
maniaKK's on his way. maniaKK's here, and he's not in time. Mouse able to grab the Fire Giant, and now they're on full retreat to try and get away because Adapting is here as well. Stygian Torment comes out, but able to immune it. Can't pull anyone back
Keep
in.
running, boys. Keep running. Just get back to your base for now. Take the Fire Giant. 4 members with it. You will lose a tier 2 town on the left-hand side, more than likely, to Kronos. But I'm okay with that, you know?
164.
That was a nice little... Did you see me? From Mouse, more than anything else. Like, NRG were kind of caught sleeping like, hang on, where's the rest of the... We killed Cherryo with 4 members, but where's the rest of the team? Oh, we know now. Fire Giant.
And that's more of... And that's a taking it from NRG more than a getting it so they can push kind of Fire Giant, feels like to me, because it's hard to fight in to the lead NRG has. They take it away, and NRG can't keep running away with the lead.
I mean, realistically, once the relics come back up from Mouse, which will be before the Fire Giant ends, they could take a team fight now and be on a very even keel. That Fire Giant will help them a lot in terms of just regenerating the fights, doing a little bit more damage. So the Fire Giant really is an even keel thing here for them. So getting a couple of towers is definitely going to help to cut the gold lead. And it also means NRG won't want to fight them because it will feel more like an even-paced fight because of the fact that Fire Giants are on their waist.
Taking a look at emilitoo's build here, though. Going for the Raw to Tahuti. We don't see this one as much anymore. I think it's a ton of power.
Yeah.
How could you... It's what, 150? How do you say no to that?
Well, if you get someone below 50% health, then you're doing more damage.
And
That's
it's
the
an
other thing
extra
about it. Like,
bunch of extra bonus damage on top. I think it's still good. I think it's still good.
I'm actually buying it on Kukulkan right now because it's nothing worse than, like, you hit with a tornado. spit in the face, right? Hit him with a tornado, and then the
It's
tornado
Zephyr.
does so much damage. It's a
Spit in their
spit.
face.
He spits. Kukulkan spits. He just flames up in the face. Spit in the face, and then drop the tornado.
I don't want to play Kukulkan anymore. I don't play against him or as him anymore, Graham. You've ruined
Just
it.
realize it. That's what he does. He spits.
Oh man.
I mean, have you not worked out exactly what Anubis does?
I guess he is just kind of like breathing on people, right? Yeah.
Hot breath. That's what it is. Plague of locusts is what it's called. He's basically just releasing locusts from his mouth.
Well, I got that part.
And that's okay.
Well, I mean,
Is that worse than spitting?
It kind of isn't.
Exactly, it isn't. I'm saying, like, there's some disgusting abilities in this game.
Yeah, yeah. Fire Giant, though, has been grabbed by...
Technically, Cerberus does that too. He spits with all 3 heads.
It's ghastly, though. It kind of makes sense, though, for him to be going in. Actually gets blown up immediately. BigManTingz was there, and then he wasn't. Nika now is the one that has the apple on top of him, and Adapting's coming in to try and chase him down with the Death Bane. 154 crit. He is going to be able to jump over the wall and make it out, but I don't think NRG are done looking for him as emilitoo finds Jermain.
Yeah, the supports are just farming up the left-hand side. Cherryo was trying to do his best Kevin Adonis impression of split pushing to try and get himself some farm in some of these towers.
They're not going to
Well, they're
be
going to
able
lose a Phoenix off this.
Yeah, I don't know how worth it is going to be, as now they almost certainly will lose this Phoenix.
Cherryo's trying to make a decision that I don't like. He's like, maybe if I keep pushing right, they'll come back to base. If I just keep pushing here, maybe they'll come back and try and defend. Maybe I can cheekily take it. He's not going to get it in time. It takes 2 waves on your own, realistically, to get a Phoenix down at this stage of the game. And just one character turned up in emilZy is enough to push him off.
And he had to retreat. That means Pyromancer can be claimed by NRG. Or maybe not. They want to try and catch Cherryo in the jungle. That's what the play is going to be. maniaKK is here. He blinks, but emilitoo's going to be waiting. Has to use the ultimate, and he dashes away. It's the whole kit, but Cherryo's out.
Easy game, easy life, says Cherryo. Take a tier 2 and just walk back through the jungle, meander through by a second or 2. Pyromancer going to go to NRG, though. Small, little win, I guess. Pyromancer for me, it's kind of a non-objective this year.
Yeah, it's
I'm
more
okay
for
with it.
like the global farm, I think, that your team gets than anything else. Yeah,
That's
I
it.
agree.
I don't think it makes enough of an impact with the speed that it gives you or how long it lasts to really make a big impact in the game. But it can cause a fight, and that's one thing that I think a lot of teams need to learn about this year is, like, maybe just give it up now and again.
Yeah.
Don't worry about giving it up. Like, yeah, it makes a small impact. It is a bit of a lead. It's not the same as a Gold Fury. It's not the same as a tier 2 tower. Take it when you can, but don't worry about trying to fully commit to save it.
emilZy hits the 2-man stun and walks right on out of there. Gonna back in the face of Mouse, which they almost certainly won't allow him to do. But I want to talk about how the Fire Giant that Mouse had, they didn't get much off of it. NRG are the ones that start to fight, even though Mouse have it.
They got 3 towers and lost to Phoenix. That's kind of how the Fire Giant worked out for them in the grand scheme of things. Now they're a little bit far forward around this gold, trying to zone away as the Gold Fury is being done. But NRG are aware this time. They're not going to let it happen again.
Jermain gets hit by one of those bounces. That actually
Steals.
takes the Soul Reaper
Too
proc.
early.
I don't think that's what they wanted. NRG take the Gold Fury, and Jermain's too far. So instead, he has to retreat, and NRG are going to be able to get out of there with the objective.
Could have potentially stole that. I like Jermain's idea behind it of falling back. NRG, I don't think NRG were really playing around that at all, though, that snipe. So just worked out well in their favor more than anything else.
Yeah, it didn't look like they were trying to maybe coordinate their burst or worried about it getting stolen away as Fire Giant's back up. This is what was stolen last time. And Mouse looked like they want to at least come defend on the solo side and be ready.
Yeah, the good news is it's only the middle Phoenix that's down now, so you can sense someone like Jermain or any of the carries really in the mid lane, let them turn up to the fight a little bit, a
They're
few
doing
seconds
it.
later, and then still contest the Fire Giant. So it's not doom and gloom for Mouse just yet, but they've got to defend this. They've got to try and do something here. They can't just surrender it.
It's at half health. Soul Reaver proc was just used by Yammyn and to chunk down Nika, who is very low. They've dropped the Fire Giant. They want to come look for the fight instead, but they didn't really have anybody caught out. They just dropped it.
Mentioned it in game 1, NRG's patience. Game 2, they need to do... Right now, they're just going to be patient, NRG. Let the minions push down mid, make Mouse make a call that's going to put them in an awkward position, and then it's go time.
Bounce lands onto Dardez this time. Look where emilitoo is. He's wrapping around the backside. He finds
Got
one
Tingz.
stun, lands on Tingz and forces out the beads from him. Won't get knocked up by maniaKK because of that, but the thorns are ticking, and maniaKK gonna keep chasing him down. This time the ultimate's forced out.
Jermain's
Yammyn
in
has to
trouble.
retreat as well, though.
Jermain's being run down through the jungle too, back to a safer position alongside Cherryo. Main thing is everybody's still alive on the side of Mousesports. That's important here for Mouse to make sure everybody stays standing, but NRG definitely healthier, definitely have some more sustain with that terror as well, where they can still look towards the fire.
And they can head back this way, and Mouse don't have the information to know what is NRG's doing. Are they on or not? They got to come check. That's what Jermain or Cherryo are doing, and all the while, NRG's going back, getting everybody healthy so they can regroup one more time.
Keep an eye on relics though. Yammyn's going to be very careful now, burn both his beads and his Aegis. Same can be said for Jermain, who uses beads and BigManTingz. So all these beads being down means CC chains will work. Adapting can look at any of those, put the pressure on, make sure he gets that Aegis out of them next. Keep it on Adapting, he'll be looking for the carries.
Adapting is the one that's stepping furthest forward. Aegis will be able to keep a couple alive, but like you said, no beads. And it really feels like NRG have used a little bit more, especially in their initiation side, like from maniaKK as well as Adapting, than what was used from Mouse. If Nika can get in there, still has plenty available, as does Cherryo.
Keep an eye on mid lane too. Jermain is there on that Rama. He could always snipe this fight giant if required, but the fight is now underway.
Gonna pull back into Yammyn. That's a prime target, but they all just get grouped up inside the damage. The apple, the unruly magic, it's too much. Jermain's looking for the shots, but not gonna matter. Instead, it's Dardez who gets blown up. Cherryo yet again has to use the ultimate defensively. Stunned, controlled, deleted. Adapting finds a third kill to fight for energy. 5v2, they're still standing strong.
If your tanks die on the front line, that's it. There's not much you can really do, especially if the whole squad's still alive from energy. It's exactly what happened. They grouped up, they got double kiss, double death bane, good night, sweet prince. We knew you well. Now Adapting can just zone the damage dealers away from anywhere near this fire.
Fire Giant gonna go to energy for free, and they want to fight when Mouse had it. I gotta think they're gonna do pretty well when they've got it, as now they're looking for that weakened Phoenix they've already taken. I don't even think they want to back. I think they want to start pushing right away. They're going to let Yammyn push over in solo to go ahead and get that tier 2 tower. Everyone else come in mid.
This should be an easy middle Phoenix now. I don't think there's much they can really do. It's already weakened down. 2 carries here without beads have to stay very far back in this anyway, because one root is going to spell terrible times for them.
But they can't lose 2. I don't think they can give up 2. They've got 4 here. They've got to try and come up and make this defense, but already half health. emilitoo is swinging. Nika goes in and looks for the push, but on the front side, maniaKK has kept too busy. Adapting catches Jermain before he can make it to the fountain. Last breath, and he's down. Adapting finds one more kill.
And he's just hunting the guys with no beads. Have they used the rollout? Yeah, go in. All right, use your Aegis. Now I'm going to ult you, because when your Aegis fades, I'm going to pop that poison, and you're going to disappear.
emilitoo does get disarmed, but only for the moment. Dardez cannot stick around. Phoenix in solo crumbles to energy's damage. Yammyn and emilZy do get stunned out, but I don't think that they particularly care.
Nah, left Phoenix, why not? Just go head over to the left. You've got minions already waiting there. No point taking a fight just yet, unless Mouse give you a fight to take.
Dardez steps up, does have a little bit of help going for him in the form of that mid-guardian, so they have to back up. Eagles rally. He is going to try and go on the backside and find emilitoo. Does have the bludgeon, but it's not going to be enough. Now he doesn't even have a way out, but they're turning toward the Phoenix. They don't even care about Dardez. They're putting their damage on the Phoenix. Knockup comes out from maniaKK to try and respond. They don't get the last hit that they need, and instead they'll have to take that Fire Shards damage.
maniaKK going to get out just in time before he dies. Oh, that final Phoenix shot, not enough. The shield came through. Phoenix still alive,
They need to hit it one more time.
Yeah, energy taking a little bit too long. Trying to get Kronos in position. He's the only one with real range. There we go. But now when he comes in range, he nearly dies.
Cherryo's ultimate's down. They get it out. But the apple is the one that goes through. Jermain does take down emilitoo, so he'll sit on a respawn timer. But all 3 Phoenixes tier 2 has been taken down. And Jermain's just happy to have gotten his first kill in 31 minutes.
Yep, managed to actually pick up that kill on emilitoo. So it'll force energy back, not having the hyper carry Kronos available. But energy will just buy up real quick, wait for emilitoo for 40 seconds, and then they can come and start barreling down, looking to end out this game.
Cherryo blinks in, doesn't have the ultimate, so it's just going to be the sash, as emilZy is going to juke around the Gold Fury. Does have Adapting here to help, who could potentially deathbane through a couple members. Just needs the in-hand. Last breath throws him back to try and spread the poison. It's a double kill as Dardez falls as well. Sash lands big crit on the Yammyn, who has to back off, but maniaKK's going to go in with a little bit of help.
Why are we fighting here, Mouse? I know getting these kills could be good for you, but at the same time, Phoenixes are going to get pressured by 5 minions everywhere. They've had to leave New War in base just to defend. Maybe they'll get a kill here, but I don't think it's worthwhile.
Nope, especially when they lose the fight, as Adapting finds his 3rd kill of the fight. Only BigManTingz survives because he didn't even come to the fight. He does use the Fire Shards to clean up one more.
And now look,
tries to defend right, but there's minions in middle, there's minions in left.
It's 30 seconds now for New War to defend the base on her own. She can do okay, but when the rest of energy turn up down this mid lane, Finch, it's going to be a different story. Here's a bet. Does he live or die?
BigManTingz?
Yeah.
Does he have the ultimate? He doesn't. He dies.
He's got bees and Aegis, though.
Oh, he does. Okay.
And he's also got a fountain to hide.
Well, we'll see. It depends on if Adapting wants to go for him, wants to go for the Titan. Looks like it is going to be a little bit of focus from the energy squad. They're just going to go for the damage onto the Titan. Apple almost hit. And BigManTingz does survive. Good job there, Graham.
End of the game was a bit. I didn't call it. I said, "Do you reckon he survives?" I never said he wasn't.
I feel like you said he wasn't.
Yeah.
I said he would. I assume you just took the opposite.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't always
So you were on
do
my
that.
side and you were wrong then.
No, I wasn't on your side either. I just
Okay.
didn't make a call.
You can't just sit on the fence, Graham. But that's going to be it. NRG are going to take that game to set, rather.
Yeah.
2-0, able to come out on top.
Clean.
Maybe kind of as we expected, but game one, a little bit less than clean. But we want to know, who is your MVP for that game? Who was it? A little bit harder to decide on this.
I'm still feeling Adapting. His KDA was fantastic in that game, but Adapting for me this year, he looks revitalized. I think that's the big key here. Last year, it kind of felt like the whole team drifted. Adapting as well was just not the same sort of player. This year, he's found his spark again. It's great to see him back.
Well, Adapting is back. It looks like all of NRG really is back here after they win their set. But let's go ahead and get this one over to the desk so they can analyze that set.
Thanks a lot, boys. Tom and Tolly bringing this one down, and yeah, that was really, really fun stuff to see NRG just doing it. And I want to approach what Hinduman said, because I really believe this. He said that Adapting was kind of revitalized. I think Season 5 has revitalized everyone, from us to the players to the fans. It's such a fresh look on the game.
And a fresh support, honestly, could be that kind of new bloodline that they really need to kind of go into Season 5. Looking really strong here against Mousesports. No surprise to me personally here that they found this victory, and no surprise to me that Adapting is yet again the MVP.
Yeah, no surprise whatsoever. This is becoming a little bit silly. Adapting, King Kenneth, 12 kills.
No deaths. His
And 5
KDA
assists.
is already 12.
Yeah.
0.1, I think, before going into this set. I'm curious what it's going to be after this set once we do the numbers. But yeah, honestly, the draft from Mousesports allowed the success for Adapting here. That play from EmilZy was madness. He
Yeah.
didn't collapse it on purpose, knowing that that wall was going to body block.
Yeah, really clean stuff from EmilZy. He's been such an asset to this team so far, and well, that's what Adapting does. Just goes all the way deep, finds the kills, and then of course there's just the punishment plays like this.
That's true. He was always finding the cleanups there. A little too ambitious there. Was going for the goal here out of Mousesports. Felt like they really needed to make a play happen at the end of the day. It was just no success for them. And I have to look back at their draft. It was just not that much control. Naja for Cherryo was single target control. But the question is, who does he go on? You're dealing with Terra's EmilZy, or EmilZy's Terra, which could be either way, actually,
Yeah,
at this point.
I feel you.
Discordia for Yammyn. You know, he's going to be really defensive. Kronos can peel for himself with a rewind. Circuit and Kakolin. So no prime targets at all for Cherryo. And then you got the AoE control from just Nika on the Cerberus and BigManTingz on the Nuwa.
You know what, though? I did like, one of the things that I did like about watching Mouse play was their strategy. That Fire Giant call was fantastic, and you attack the draft, and rightfully so here. I think Bologna support was probably the wrong idea, but again, it's Mouse understanding what their identity is, and when you're playing at the top level, not everything is a slam dunk. You know, even the pros strike out sometimes. So this is Mousesports just continuing to identify it and work through the kinks. I want you to say something. I know they lost, but I want you to say something positive about Mouse. Was there anything in the set that gave you a good look for the future?
Honestly,
or are they just hopeless?
In this set, no, it didn't. But they need to go back to their roots, honestly. Not necessarily saying they should go back to the triple guarding double hunter, but they need to reevaluate their picks and bans. There are some checklists every now and then that you have to kind of cross off. Do we have sustain? Do we have crowd control? Do we have the late game damage? What are we providing to this team fight composition, and how can we execute it to get this W? And so far, I'm not seeing that out of Mousesports in this set.
Yeah, gotta bring it just a little bit more. Stay tuned. We're 2 down. We've got 1 more to go. Rival versus Mouse. We'll see if Mouse can bounce back in game number 2. We'll be back. Stay tuned.